So my friends, I finally got hold of the Sony A95K, and this is my unboxing and first look at this flagship TV. Let's take a closer look. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So just for full disclosure, this video is not sponsored by anyone. I've paid full retail value, although I have now got a little bit of discount on this TV because it has just been reduced in price. Right, the first thing to notice when you get this TV is the box is far heavier than the like-for-like TVs from Samsung or from LG. And the reason for that is the stand. It is unbelievably heavy. It is ridiculously heavy, in fact. You also get a whole plethora of attachments, backings, and stand equipment with this TV. Putting it together is pretty simple. You can choose to have this rear mounted or front mounted. I don't really know why you would want it front mounted. I think if the stand had a better finish to it, then it would look better front mounted, but I'm keeping it at the rear. Let me know what you think. But this TV definitely does need two people to lift it into place. It is pretty heavy. The TV itself, again, is far heavier than the LG C2 or the Samsung S95B. Now, I'm not sure about that stand. What's your thoughts about it? It has got a metal base, but it's covered in a bit of plastic, and it's not particularly that attractive to look at. So again, I don't really know why you would have it on the front. The input connections are arranged in an L-shaped formation with some on the side and some facing down. Although the 4K 120Hz HDMI ports, which sadly there are only two, are both located on the bottom, so you will need to bear that in mind when plugging it in. Now, this speaker system on this TV can be used as a center speaker within a 5.1 surround sound system, which is a great feature, and you've got the connections on the side there. We will cover that off in another video for those that may be interested. The power cable is located on the left-hand side from the rear as you look at it, and the back has got that grid type effect. There's just a couple of bits of the plastic to remove, and so we'll do that. This is definitely not as fun as it used to be, it has to be said, but hey-ho. Let's get that off, and then we're pretty much ready to go. Oh, there is one strip along the bottom, so you do need to remove that as well. If the thickness of the TV is important to you, then this is actually one of the thicker TVs. It's got that heatsink built into it, and so therefore that is going to be the reason why. And you'll notice that it does lean back slightly. There is a webcam, which I'm not going to go through in this video. I'll do that in my full review. So that does sit on the top. There are two remotes that come with this. Again, I call one the ugly sister. That's the one in the background where it belongs. And the other one is arguably the best remote on the market at the moment. It feels fantastic to hold. It feels like the top case is made of a metal, but I may be wrong there, but all of the buttons are reassuringly just very nice to push. I know that sounds weird, but this without doubt is the best remote on the market at the moment. One thing as well is it's backlit, which again was a nice feature that I wasn't really expecting. So that is great, and it's got a gyro built in, so it will light up as soon as you pick this up. Right, setting this TV up is a breeze. It's Google TV, and I won't bore you with that whole process, but it takes probably about 5 minutes. It's a little bit quicker if you do it via your phone, and so once you've got that on, the first thing that you need to do is turn off power saving, because otherwise it will just keep on going dim all the time, and who wants that with a TV at this price? Setting up your connections is great. The Google TV experience, well, that's one that most people seem to enjoy. It's one of my favorites without a doubt. It's definitely, I think, better than the S95B. For software, the Tizen software on that is just not great, but I will be doing a head-to-head and putting these two together, and I'll bring in the LG as well so that we can have a comparison. That will be in a couple of videos' time. The menu system is all pretty familiar, but again, I'll go over that more in my full review. One thing that I did notice immediately is the angles on this TV seem to be better. It just seems to be brighter from pretty much any angle. And if I go right round, you can see that it's incredibly bright, even on the furthest angle. It is really quite impressive. But again, I'll compare that to the other leading models out there at the moment. The bezels around the side and top are around 1 centimeter, maybe slightly less, but they look really thin and great, and there's a little chin on the bottom, which is probably 3 or 4 centimeters. In terms of reflection handling, on the left-hand side of the screen, you can just see that a blind is going up in the background. Now, again, I'm not comparing this at the moment to the Samsung, but I would say this is probably better at reflection handling. I think the Samsung was slightly worse, and without a doubt, the LG was pretty much terrible. This is with the TV off, and as you can see, yes, obviously you can see that reflection, but it's not as glaring as it can be on others. So if you've got this TV situated in a bright room opposite a window, well, then that's something that you may need to bear in mind. Now, I'm just going to run over picture quality a little bit. I'm going to go into far more detail in my main review. What I noticed is the upscaling on this TV seemed incredible. It seemed absolutely fantastic. Now, that is pretty much the same as the S95B, but standard definition, which was the first clip you saw, was just it was definitely looked HD quality. And this is just standard cable TV, satellite television. It looked great. However, what I would say is out of the box, now this may well be due to my HDR settings on my PlayStation, because I didn't really go into that when I turned this on. I just wanted to get some footage up, but this just seemed a little bit more washed out. So I'm going to have to change the HDR settings. And also when I played with Ratchet & Clank, it seemed a little bit too bright, and also the blues seemed a little bit greeny, and so I'll go through that and test that as well. But don't draw any conclusions from the picture quality. I just wanted to show you a little bit of it in this video. So straight out of the box without changing any settings, then the picture quality is pretty much amazing. This is just unbelievable. And I'm going to be really keen to see this against some of its competitors, because my first impression without having the other TV side by side is that this does look better, and it does pain me a little bit to say it. The other thing which immediately I know is head and shoulders above everything else is the sound quality. It is just fantastic.
Legendary.
So when I do the full review, I'll take out my binaural microphone so that you can get a better indication of the sound, but it's definitely head and shoulders above everything else that I've seen this year, without a doubt. Now, this is the type of picture quality that you can get from it, and it is absolutely astonishing. Now, this is without it being calibrated, without me changing any settings. This is just in cinema mode, and it looks just insanely good. So I'm going to be interested once I've played with it, once I've calibrated it and changed some of the settings, just to see how good this goes, and also how it then compares to some of the other TVs out there. But my first impression is that this TV, I'm not 100% convinced on the look of the TV. It sits so low, which means that you will not be able to get a soundbar in front of it. You'll need to put that somewhere else. So that does restrict the type of cabinet that you've got. Obviously, you can see my cabinet is divided into sections, and so I just wouldn't be able to have a soundbar with this TV. Now, obviously, you can wall mount it, and that's obviously fine. Some people want to do that, but a lot of people want it on the stand. So I'm just not a great fan of this incredibly low stand. In one way, it looks amazing because it's so low profile, but in others, it's just a little bit annoying. Anyway, that's my initial impressions of this TV. I will go into a lot more detail in my full review. My instinct says that I'm liking it so far. There are a couple of drawbacks which I'll go to in more detail, but the first impression is pretty good, I do have to say. Thank you for watching this video, my friends, and I do look forward to seeing you on the next.